These are the two SunTouch in-floor heating mats we're installing. They're 10 feet long, 30 inches wide, and they're each about 300 watts. And so they will supply heat for the entry of the house. They have a double-sided tape on each edge to stick them down, and then you see that blue wire in the center. You can use hot glue to stick that down. Any areas of the mesh that are lifting, you can use hot glue to stick and hold those down. Just put hot glue there, use something to sink the heat away, and it'll stay down. That white wire is the thermostat you see right there, thermostat sensor, and we hot glued that down.
Okay.
The total system was about $700.
Oops. A bag and a half of Flex Bond mortar spread out over the floor. And so basically,
Don't step on the threshold.
I'm not. So basically you pile on the mortar Flex Bond and then you screed it across the wires, and that gives you a level. And then tomorrow we are going to get a bag of Level Quick and pour a bucket of that on here and level it out. That'll give us about 1/4 of an inch of level. And our thermostat wire and heat mat wires go in at the bottom of the wall and come up to the electrical box for the thermostat. And right down here is the heat sensor control for the thermostat, temperature sensor, and that controls the temperature of the floor. Okay, so we will be doing the Level Quick tomorrow, and then maybe tomorrow or the next day the tile. So there you go, we have our electric heating mat is down. We've got it set in Flex Bond mortar, and Mitch is applying the, what do they call this stuff again? Their adhesive sealer? Primer, that's it.
For the leveling compound.
Yeah, so this goes on, should dry fairly quickly. We're putting it on full strength, and then in half an hour, maybe a little longer, we will mix up 2 bags of leveling compound and screed it across the floor 1/4 inch deep. And so we had to make a special tool because they didn't sell the screed at Home Depot. So here's what we did. We got a roofing squeegee tar spreader, and I put these 3-inch screws on here, and you can see that they are just about 1/4 of an inch longer than the screed is. So when you put that down on the floor, you can see that it will drag across the floor on the 2 screw heads, holding the squeegee about 1/4 of an inch up. And that will give us the 1/4 of an inch of material that we need on top of the mortar so that it will flow evenly into all of the lows and highs. There's a lot of inconsistencies when you apply that electric mat and then kind of screed the mortar across the top of the mat with the wires. So this here's our Level Quick. Mix up 2 bags of that, and that should do it. here. So you can see what's looks flat.
Looks flat. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I neglected to record screeding the level compound on the floor on this job, so this is another job.
Okay. Oh, this is I will work the end over here with the float. Let me get where he is.
You can see that the screed is spreading the level quickly, leaving about 1/4 of an inch of depth on it, and it will flow into the low points, and it will become shallow in the high points, but it will leave an overall much more level floor than when we started. So it's a pretty good way to handle an uneven floor surface. You just pour a bunch out, get your spreader with a 1/4 inch lift, and spread. It's a little difficult to spread it in a smaller room, easier to spread it in a large room where you have the space to maneuver.
So there is the level quick on it. So we have mixed opinions on whether the screed worked successfully or not, but it will continue to flow and seek level, and I think it's close enough that tomorrow we'll be ready to tile.
When you mix the level quick, I would recommend going on the thin side so it pours and flows more easily into all the areas.
Okay.
And here is laying tile. I'm setting the GoPro up. So I am scooping some Flex Bond mortar where I need it for the next tile. And we are using a 3/8 inch wide by 1/2 inch deep notched trowel, and there is a piece of tile. So you will see we are using the leveling system on these tiles too. These tiles are on kind of a subway style where the four corners don't meet their offset for each row. So we have we're using some levelers that have a 3-way arrangement and levelers that have a 2-way arrangement. One leveler is for side to side, and the other one is for when you have a row meeting side to side, and then the next grout line going up between the two. As you can see, the one kind of in the center of the picture, you can see where the 3 grout lines converge. That is one of the T ones, and the one over next to the door and the one I'm doing right now are the straight ones. So we're gonna put some more tile down here. Then Mitch is gonna switch. I'm measuring a tile for Mitch to cut right now. So Mitch is off running to cut. I'm gonna spread some more mortar. Need to scoop more out. We're using the white Flex Bond. Sometimes use gray, sometimes use white. If you're using a light colored grout, we'll use the white. If we're using a dark grout, we'll use the gray. And so there goes another tile. You see I've got my anchors leveling devices in place. So right now what I'm doing is putting in 1/4 inch spacers. So these tiles will have a wider 1/4 inch grout line in them. So I've got my tile positioned, and now I am screwing down the nut for the anchors. So Mitch is going to do some of the tiles now. We kind of trade off. I'll cut and set, he'll set, or I'll set and he'll cut. So this is the finished installation. You see all of the leveling anchors holding the tile together. You see the offset of the subway tile, the stair casing of the grout lines, and it turned out really well. We will finish this job on Monday. Right now I am going to show you from the same other job as the spreader how you remove the anchor bolts, and you just kick them and they break right off. It's almost kind of fun, like a little game of soccer on the tile field. So that is how you install an electric heating pad under tile. It's a good system, gives you a nice warm floor, and the total of the two 10-foot lengths of heat element is 500 watts. They're about 2.5 amps each, and they'll be a pretty good way to heat that space. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, give it a click, and we'll see you on the next video. And don't forget to subscribe for future notification. Thank you.